quick, I'm not sure if I met everyone in this room, but my name is Brian Jennison. I'm the Membership Service Director of our team here. So welcome. Hopefully everyone's having a good time. Grab something to eat. We're excited to have you all here. So you're not here to hear from me. I know that. You got to hear from Craig Monroe, right? Who's here for Craig? And Dirks. Brandon Inge. All right. So a couple of things we have going on here. What I want to do is introduce you all real quick to the team that makes this happen. So first of all, we're going to start with, and I'm going to hear how loud you can clap too, so let's get a little loud. So first we're going to start with Sarah Primus. She's on our premium service team. There we go. Jason Service. We have Betsy Boyd, who's our manager of membership services. We have Maggie Mullen. Jonah Hirsch. Tom Hager. Noah Suit. Let's see how loud we are. Hannah Sickmiller. So a couple of things, kind of give you a little peek behind the curtain what's going to happen here. Obviously you all have something to eat, something to drink, you're relaxing, perfect. We're going to do a quick Q&A here, chalk talk with the boys we were just talking about. And then afterwards, so make sure everyone have a card? Yeah. Should have 1, 2, or 3 on it. If you have 4, 5, or 6, we know it's a fake. What we're going to do is afterwards, what we're going to do is we're going to have 3 designated areas set up for you all. Make sure you have this card. In each one of those rooms, one of the players will be there, and they'll be able to take a photo with them. You'll be able to text it to yourself as well. And you'll also walk away with prints as well. So that's all courtesy of Bachelor Candy. So we're excited to have them be a partner with us. So with that, all being said, so now what I'd like to do is introduce our VP of Ticket Sales and Service, Joe Shelby.
Hi. Good? Yeah.
Good evening. Good evening. A little bit louder. A little louder?
Yeah.
All right. Great. Thanks, Emo. Great seeing you guys. 41 days from opening day.
Yeah.
And so, you know, as we're going towards the season, it's been a busy off season. We've had a lot of exciting things. We've got a new scoreboard coming. I think y'all have seen that.
Yeah.
So really excited about some ballpark enhancements, new sound system coming in the ballpark as well. Love it. And then on top of that, we made some roster acquisitions. So, you know, we filled a lot of important positions on our team while watching some of our young guys take a next step and compete for a roster spot here in spring training. So there's a lot been going on. You had on top of it one of the coolest things I've ever been a part of, Jim Whelan getting announced into the Hall of Fame. To get into the 2024 season and celebrate a lot of different things going on at the ballpark. We are celebrating Jim on August 3rd. I don't know if y'all have earmarked that date yet, but please do. We've got to send him out in great style. So without further ado, I've got 3 of the best guys we can talk baseball with here to join us tonight. Looking at the calendar 45 days out, I was like, we got to talk baseball. I'm getting the itch. And there's no better folks to talk baseball than these 3. So without further ado, I want to welcome the first member of our crew tonight, Tiger All-Star, and really important member of our team for several years. I was in college in Arizona, but I always knew if I missed the Tigers game, I could see him on web gems. We're going to invite Brandon Inge up to next, I want to invite a voice that everyone's heard more and more. Has done a tremendous job for us in the booth, and a member of the Tigers World Series team in 2012. Let's welcome Andy Dirks.
You're not going to give us swag.
All right. And last but not least,
He acts like we haven't seen each other back there.
No, I haven't. You guys doing all right? Baseball around the corner. Let's go.
41 days.
Simo needs no introduction.
I'm ready to go. Fired up.
So we talked about 45 days opening day. Spring training is obviously up and rolling right now. What do you guys miss most this time of year about going out to Lakeland and getting ready for the season?
What do you miss, Brandon?
Seeing you boys.
That's exactly what you miss. You miss seeing the boys. You can't wait actually to get to spring training. It's been a long off season. You've been training. It's like, man, I'm ready to get in the trenches. I can't wait to see the boys. And everybody's excited about the season. You're optimistic. And you feel like there's a chance. Right? 162 games, you feel like there's a chance.
There's always a chance.
Well, sometimes.
Not now. I don't have a chance now. I can't throw it. I have a son that's going to Michigan next year.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. I love them all.
How was the coaching there?
What's that?
How'd you like coaching there?
I love coaching there. It was fun. There was a good group of guys and fun to coach at that age bracket because they listen, they learn, they work hard, play hard, everything. Almost too smart when they go to Michigan. They get too much. I don't think so much, you know. But yeah, he's going to Michigan and I can't even go catch him anymore. I got springs and bolts and screws flying out of my shoulders. And I can't get them up.
That's getting old.
It's getting old.
So, I mean, what does this time of year look like for you guys now? What are you doing to keep busy in the spring and April?
I got 4 kids.
That's it.
No
Yeah.
sleep. I sell real estate and have 4 kids, and that's pretty much, and then the radio broadcast. I'm going to do, I think, like 40 games or so this year. Which I'm excited about.
You did a amazing job last week.
I learned a lot from Simo. You know, he kind of takes me under his wing and says, hey, don't say something too stupid. I ain't going to do that. And then, but also, like, stick over here. But Simo's been a good resource. You know, he's been doing it a long time. He's really good at it. So I've been having a lot of fun with it.
And that's what I'm doing. I'm getting ready for the season. Learning a lot about the players. Can't wait to go to spring training tomorrow and talk to the players and get some information so I can deliver a good message to you guys every single day.
You don't care about that. You're just trying to get to the warm weather.
I've been pretty cold.
The day you leave is going to be 50 degrees for you.
That's all right. It'll be 72 maybe before. Good trade-off.
That's a good trade-off.
That's not bad. So guys, you also went down to spring training for some years and felt like, all right, this is going to be a challenge this season. Y'all have been a part of World Series teams though, and there had to be some type of feeling down there. This year was different. What did you identify when you went down to spring training those years that you could say, all right, this is going to be a special year?
Every year I went down there, we were really good. I was like, these guys are real good. Because there was such a big gap because, you know, we had pretty star-studded lineups when I was coming through the organization. So it's like AAA to the big leagues in that time was like, whoa. Like you go to my first big league spring training, I remember I was like, because sometimes, you know, when you're in the minor leagues, you go across the street, is what we always say. And you're like, oh, you're going to go play with, you know, Miguel Cabrera, Brandon Inge, and all these guys. And then when we...
Don't put me in that. I appreciate it. Come on.
We didn't watch you grow up. To be honest, when I was on my first year when I came up, I thought Inge was like 25. And he was like 34. I played with him for like 2 or 3 months. And I think I was like sitting next to Brad Pitt. I was like, yeah, talking about, you know, Inge and me are kind of roughly the same age. He's like, huh? I was 24. I'm like, yeah, you know. He's like, dude, this dude's been in the big leagues for like 10 years. He's like 33 years old. I was like, oh. Stupid things. Right?
Thanks. But you can get away with it because you're good looking. Yeah. How about you, Brandon? What do you look forward to this season? Have you watched it?
You're talking about when we showed up.
When we would go to spring training, what was your thought
I
process?
think the turning point was when Leland came in. Every other manager we had was decent. Trammell, awesome. Trammell was awesome. But when Leland came in, I'll never forget it. He took outfielders, he took infielders, he took pitchers and catchers, and he took them all separately. And then at the end of it, he talked to everyone. But when he talked to us, he was like, listen, you're grown adults. You played this game. You're better than I ever was. And when a manager tells you that, you realize that they're kind of laying themselves out there for it. But he's like, you guys tell me what you want to accomplish. You guys go get it, and I'm behind you the whole way. When you know a manager literally is saying that I got you no matter what, that was the point where I was like, all right, he buys in, he believes in us, and I know that we've got a star-studded team. And that's when I knew we were going to take off. It was a matter of time. I don't remember what year that was.
That was 2005, I believe.
Yeah.
First got there.
Yeah, so at that point, I'm like,
Brandon, take me back to the letter though that we got from Leland before spring training about how we're going to take the field. And that mentality about
don't do this to me. You know my memory is shot, dude. I've been I remember a phone call from him.
we got a letter. There was a couple guys that, some core guys like Brandon.
Yeah, maybe Engine.
Yeah, Engine got the letter. He got the letter. There was a couple other guys that got the letter. But in this letter, Leland talked about how we're going to take the field. And he talked about taking the field like the Yankees, taking the field like the Red Sox, the championship caliber teams. And that was the tradition. That's the culture that he wanted to create here in Detroit. And I remember that first meeting. And he talked about just giving me 9 full innings. Give me everything you got to take his chances with this team. And I see that. I see a lot of stuff at the big league level. They went through a tough season, the worst season in 2003, losing 119 games. But then I think we came back, right, and we all challenged each other. We challenged each other to go home this offseason, work your tail off, and let's be better. Let's be better next year. And I think we all did that, and everybody took it personal. And it's like, we got to turn this thing around. That was embarrassing. We embarrassed you guys wearing that old Nicholas D. So, it's true. It's true. It was embarrassing. But I think the culture changed when we got together in spring training that year. He said, listen, I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to take my chances with you guys. This Tiger team, support them. Show up for them because this team here, they're all pulling the same way, man. I love going in that clubhouse and to see them pulling for each other, watching each other's bullpens, watching each other in the batting cage. This is a close-knit group. And it's going to be a special year. I'm really looking forward to this season.
Thank you, guys. Let's see. Keep your balls coming, guys. Craig, you guys made a transition to broadcasting some games, and the feedback's been tremendous. I think we've heard so many positive sentiments from our fans. Love hearing you guys in the air for a lot of reasons. I think your take is refreshing. You bring some humor to the broadcast, and you guys are honest. I think you say what you see, and there's a lot of credibility behind what you guys are seeing on the field. How's that transition been from being down there on the diamond to coming up the booth?
For me, it was tough. It was a tough adjustment because, and then Brandon and I had this conversation. We talked about being on TV or doing pre and post game, and you got to be critical. You got to criticize a play. You got to criticize a player. It just didn't sit well with you because we understand how hard the game is. But it took me a little while to get over, thinking about that, Brandon, to be honest, even though we want you to come back occasionally. You got to get over that. You got to take the uniform off. You have to be honest. You guys these are baseball fans. These are guys, this fan base knows the game of baseball. And they know bull when they hear it, and they know real. And I think the real estate for me is, if I'm myself, if I'm authentic and I'm honest with you guys when I'm broadcasting, if they mess up and make a bad play, I'm never going to criticize the player. I'm going to criticize the play. And I'm also going to use it as a teaching moment to teach some kid. Hopefully they're watching, they're learning, and they listen, and they'll be able to learn something.
We love you, Steve. Yeah, good job.
I was, I left baseball. I quit playing, and then I didn't do a ton in the game for a while. And I was, got back into it and watching here and there. But I was pleasantly surprised after 100 and some years, baseball hasn't changed. Right? The bases are still about 90 feet. It's still about 60 feet, 6 inches. There's a few rules here and there. But the actual game itself, the mental capacity that it takes to perform at this level remains the same. Like these guys that go out there day in and day out, the guys who make it and the guys who stay know how to endure mentally. They're going to go through their waves. Like you're going to have your ups and downs. One of the things I was probably most impressed about with the team this year, or last year, was how well those younger guys have been able to stick it out and continue to improve with a decent amount of weight on some of their shoulders. Because, you know, when I played coming up, there was enough body around that if you didn't perform that day, there was plenty of guys to always pick you up. Okay, you didn't get the hit today, but somebody hit a 3-run homer. Maybe you made a play defensively. It was kind of like that, which is this year they took a big step towards building that with Riley Green, Torkelson hitting homers, Kerry Carpenter stepped up, and I was like, wow, this is really exciting. But the game itself, some of the statistics and the way we analyze some of the things has maybe changed. But the things that I know and love about baseball are still the same. Still the same.
I'm just laughing because when you guys are analyzing statistics,
yeah, like Inge would be what you would call like old school now. But and here's what's cool. Old school still works, right? And it's cool to see the game as it kind of continues to evolve. Where we can benefit from some of these stats. But then I think AJ has done a really good job of saying, okay, I'm going to benefit from this, but also we still have to remember, like, these are human beings. These are people with actual thoughts, concerns, right? And it's like, it's pretty fun to watch. It's still baseball.
You guys are so good at talking.
No, but I'm going into the clubhouse, right? So now the guys, they go in the clubhouse. And it was the same when we were playing. They have these sheets on your locker about the pitcher that day. And they're going to tell you, County throws this pitch. It's like, you look at it and you go, you talk to them like, the guys don't do that now. They pay close attention. But Brandon's one of those guys that, he don't want to look at this, he don't want to know the scout report really. He just knows what he does, and he just wants to go do it. And I think these kids now, though, if you look at it, Brandon, they're in the outfield, and they're pulling out the car. I'm like, I get it. The game's changing. But there's a feel when you're out there. You see the swing. If he's late, I'll move a little to the right. If he's early, I'll move a little to the left. That's just being into the game. And I think we take that away from the players when you got these little cars for them telling them to play.
All of that stuff you're talking about right now, we did. Except it was the pitch, exactly what you said. He was like, I turned around to you, hey, he's late. You're like, yeah, I got you. Like, you shift. You're like, oh yeah, I got it too. Hey, dummy, I already saw him. He's late. So instead of pulling that out, we're into the game. We're watching. We're paying attention. We're learning as we're going instead of relying on a sheet of paper that's not really showing you what is happening.
Right.
I don't disagree with the analytics to that extent, but come on, man, get in the game, like play it, like you gotta feel it, love it, like
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, the first time that I went up, I was talking to I don't remember who I was talking to. We were up in the booth. The first time they put that earpiece in, this is why they're cut out for announcing, and I'm not. The earpiece is in, and I'm like, I don't know what this earpiece is. And I'm telling a story, I'm talking on the broadcast, and the lady goes, "You got 10 seconds," and I'm like, what? In my ear, and I'm like, what the hell was that? I just stopped talking. They're all like, what's wrong with this guy? I didn't even realize
That's something you gotta get used to.
Oh, no, you can have it.
You can talk. You can't get it out because, you talk.
Yeah.
I love it.
We're well, Simo.
Yes, he does.
We got a fan group here.
No, I love it. I mean, you just know there's love back. I moved back. I moved to Michigan because of you guys. Like, I love you here.
Oh, yeah. We love you too.
It's cool to see it. In going off script a little bit here, but like being at the ballpark every day. I work for 4 different teams from Michigan originally. Coming back to the ballpark and seeing continual support in this market and the love for our fans and folks associated with our team is awesome. Just, we had 1,000 people RSVP to come out tonight and talk baseball in February. That's just cool. That's amazing. We also saw some awesome support, and we saw our fan base come to life in the Lions into the playoffs. That was really cool to see. We know what that's like, though, when the Tigers have had their runs as well. We have that atmosphere for 81 home games plus a playoff run. Guys, in your opinion, what makes playing in Detroit special?
For me, it really takes me back to that 2003 season when I think about the diehard of these Tiger fans. And we were terrible. No, but here's the crazy thing about it.
Yeah.
Alan Trammell and Kirk Gibson, Big Wheel, Lance Perry. Listen, every morning, we thought they were crazy as hell, but they had us out there in the mornings. We do this in spring training. They're doing bongos, we're going over cutout relays, and Brandon will be the first to say we worked our tails off. For some reason during the games, it was like we start out playing well and winning, and all of a sudden something happened, and I called the wheels would fall off. But it wasn't a lack of effort. And I think you guys saw that for a young group that wasn't winning any games. But down the stretch, when we were on the verge of breaking that record, 120, I believe it was.
I don't like talking about it.
Well, we got to talk about it. It's part of Tiger's history. We got to talk about it.
I mean, y'all just did that.
But we didn't have a we would score 6 runs and still lose. But I just think that what happened is you guys would just continue to show up, and I've seen it with the Lions. We're going 16. I go with Field down. It's amazing to see how it's changed. It hasn't really changed. They've always been there, cheering them on, pulling for that team to be where they're at today. And I think it's the same for the Tigers. You guys have always showed up for us. And again, that's why I love playing. Why I love playing here is because of how you guys embrace your athletes here. I'm walking around now in Monroe, or in Birmingham, wherever I'm at. And people freaking know me, and they're coming up telling me a story about something I did when they were, I don't know, some of the kids now, they're old enough, and they're telling me stories, and the older guys are telling me stories. This shit's kind of crazy, to be honest with you. Kind of cool at the same time.
I agree with you on that. Sorry, real quick. So, when I was a rookie, we had the Ryder Cup coming into town. Hal Sutton was the captain, I think, of the Ryder Cup that year, and they had Tiger representative, Lions representative, Red Wing, and Piston. And I'll never forget to this day, you guys all know Steve Eiserman, one of the greatest Detroit legends around. I didn't know him very well. I grew up in Lynchburg, Virginia. I didn't know what hockey was back then. We had cows and hayfields. And so he came and pulled me aside and he said, hey, just want to let you know that this is one of the greatest cities you can play at. It's a blue-collar city. They like people that play hard, work hard, and show up every single day and give it everything they got. And he didn't have to say that to me. He didn't have to say that at all. But when he said that, I'm like, all right, this guy who is a legend is telling me to play this way, which wasn't going to change anything. That's how I was anyway, but it just confirmed I'm in the right place. This is where I want to be. This is where I want to play. Good luck.
I need you to do better, dude. Seriously. I need you to do better. I need you to really think about this, okay?
I'll give you 100%.
Okay, please give me 100%. So, we go, I think we went to the World Series, we come back, and you and I, and our families, we were invited over to Ford Field, and we parked in the players' lot for the Tigers, the Tiger Stadium. But do you remember walking over to Ford Field
With all the fans?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes, I did.
Were you a rock star for the first time in your life? Because I was.
100%.
Like, I thought I was like a rock band or something.
I actually was scared.
Because they were talking, and I'm like, that's how crazy I love you guys. Y'all are crazy, but I love you because they were like tugging us and pulling us around, but it was like, Brandon, this isn't real.
I felt like we were in a crowd circle.
I did too. It was a good time, but I'm glad you remember that. At least you remember something. They didn't hit you too many times, man.
Speaking of these stories, guys, we've got some fan questions that have come in, and I want to make sure we get some of our season ticket number questions answered. One of the ones that was asked by multiple folks was for your favorite Jim Whelan story. Nobody's going to the hall. I think we've got to make sure we address that before we wrap.
Is he gonna watch this?
Okay, he's gonna watch this. I'm not. Go ahead, give your best story.
I can't.
I mean,
Brandon, you can.
Okay, I can.
you got it.
Yeah, I got it. All right. you're gonna have to forgive me for this one, but anyway, so we go into, I think it was 2010 or 11, go into Cleveland. We're supposed to take 4 out of 4. We got a 4-game series. We lost the first 3. You guys don't know what Leland's like in the clubhouse or after a game, especially when he thinks you're supposed to win. This guy is veins popping out of his neck. He's calling us every word you can think of, screaming at us, just, I mean, like, with his foot on us, crushing us. This goes on for 20 to 30 minutes, would you say?
Yeah, it was not fun. I was a rookie, and I was like,
okay, so to that point right there, so I'm a veteran at that point, and I'm listening to this, and I know what he's doing. And at first, when he comes in, I'm like, hell yeah, give it to him. Let us know. Let us have it. Like, wear us out. And then I start looking around the locker room, and this is my family. These are my brothers. Like, and I can see them doing this. And I made the biggest mistake in my life. I said, okay, we get it. He turned, looked at me, and was like, who the do you think you are? And at that point, I'm like, well, a minute, let's go. So I jump in the middle, and we are just like, and I put my hands behind him. I mean, he's a frail little man. I tell him to his face, I don't care. I put my hands behind him, and I'm just like, and I don't know why, but I just bumped him. And when I just bumped him, he fell backwards, and I'm like, oh God, here we go. So at that point, you talk about benches clear, the whole clubhouse clear. Me, Leland, coaching staff, everyone, all into it. Well, anyway, sitting down there, everything's calm, I feel terrible. And then McClendon, holy Lord, McClendon comes around the corner, and he is livid. He's just coming at me full speed. I'm scared to death, so I like just kind of push him off me, thinking I'm gonna die. The next thing I know, Brad Penny has me over his shoulder, sprinting me across, throws me into the training room, slams the doors. The whole place is going crazy. Finally, for about 15, 20 minutes, everything calms down. I mean, I'm feeling terrible. I feel terrible. So I walk back into Leland's office. I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, man. I didn't even do that. To McClendon also, I'm like, I don't lie, I can't. And they're both laughing. And I'm like, whoa, time out. Why are you now I'm getting even more mad at that point. And they were like, well, damn it, Inge, we were looking to get a rise out of somebody. We didn't know you were trying to fight the whole picture. Like, did you send me a note? What is happening here? So, crazy story, but that's how we motivated. We rattled off 12 wins in a row.
yeah.
Wow.
12?
Wow.
Paul Berg game with the same team going against Cleveland. We're at home. We're getting ready to go on the West Coast, right? We're going to go play Oakland, LA. And the guy, we just kind of showed up. And we didn't kind of feel like we showed up. We just showed up, but the score was like 16-1. We were throwing the ball all over the place. We were swinging it, crap all over our head in the ground. And after the game, we all go in and we're getting ready to go. We're ready to go. So we're like, trying to hurry up and shower and get the hell out of here. And the boys come in, the coaches, Gene Lamont, obviously Andy Dirks and Brandon Inge, you guys might want to just sit down. They were like, all crud. And this old man let us have it. Hell yeah. When he said, but it's like,
You can't say half of it.
no, you can't say that. Y'all think about it. Let me just show up. He goes, you were on flight to Oakland already. And he was effing us all over the place. And everybody, you could hear a pin drop in. You could hear the pin drop because everybody's just stuck on him. And then he'd go in his office and he'd come back. And he'd go off at us some more. You know, you guys are a bunch of losers. You guys are quiet. You're just throwing the games away. You're not playing hard. And he'd go on for about another 5-10 minutes. And he'd walk away. And so we're all like, okay, he's done. So we're going to get up, take a shower. Like, no, sit down, because here he comes again. And so he just kept coming back and forth. For at least, Brandon, listen, it was about 30 minutes. And we're sitting there waiting for him to just be done. But he was absolutely right. That day, I don't know what happened, but when he toured us, he gave me tours a new one, and we just kind of started rolling. From that point, I believe, we're like, you know what? This old man's not playing. You got to give him 9 full innings every single day. Or he didn't care if you're Pudge Rodriguez, if you're Magneto Ordonez, he didn't care if you're a superstar player. And I think you guys have seen the clip of Leland going at Barry Bonds.
Oh, yeah.
He don't care if you're a rookie or you're a superstar player on the team. You better give him everything you got, or he's going to let you have it. And so he's a beauty, and I'm actually excited. I think we should give him a hand for going into the Hall of Fame. Myself.
Skip always had his players back.
Yes.
Media, to anybody, he was like always treated you like you were. He didn't care if it was your first day in the big leagues or you've been in the big leagues for 20 years. He treated you like a big leaguer. He knew that you belonged because, going back to your point, he was like, I was never as good as you. And he would say those things, which was cool. I saw him, Jared Weaver, who's about 6'6", big man, threw a ball over Alex Avila's head, trying to hit it. Ball goes over his head, bench just kind of start clearing. Weaver's going nuts. Avila's like, what's going on? Because Carlos Keenan hit a home run and kind of did the slow trot. Skip comes out of the W, and he's going to go fight Weaver. You want to fight? Come and fight me, big boy. I was like, let's go. And Weaver looked over and was kind of like, huh? Because Leland's the first guy out, you know? It's just like, you don't see that.
Well, one thing he also told us this, he would always tell us, listen, the only time you're going to be treated different is going to be on the 1st or the 15th, and that's when you get your checks. Some guys' checks are going to be a little bigger. And he had this ability to just lighten him. He's a character. He is funny, but he also wears his emotions on his sleeve. And I remember him reading us a essay that his son Patrick wrote, very emotional. And I remember him talking about what it takes to be a champion. That's what the essay was about. And you remember this?
Yeah, he was losing.
He lost it.
Yeah.
And he was reading this from what Patrick, his son, very proud, obviously. But the things he was talking about, what it takes to be a champion, he wanted to relay that message to us from what his son had wrote. And he would just get so emotional, start crying. And so when you talk about running through, those managers, coaches that you run through the wall for, or you believe you hold on to every word he says, that's Leland. He'd run through that wall right now. I guarantee you, Brandon, if he told Brandon to run to that wall, he'd probably do it. Because he believed he think he can. And that's the kind of confidence he also would instill in us. Like, he believed in us more than sometimes we believe in ourselves. And so kudos to him, man, for going to the hall and putting on his damn spikes like he was going to get it again. But he loved it. So this is fun. It's fun to give him his credit and give his flowers while he's still here. So I'm happy. I'm excited for him this year.
Thank you guys for the stories. That's amazing. We're excited to celebrate him on 8-3. The last question before we wrap and head to the photo session, guys. A lot of great memories playing for the Tigers. But leave us with what your favorite Tiger memory is, and what's that lasting memory when you think about suiting up with the Old English D that's kind of burned into your brain?
I'm going first for you guys. Take it.
Go for it.
Go ahead.
A Magneto homer. Not only that, like, every time I watch that video now, when you watch our stands, when you watch you guys, literally the whole place is broken. I mean, did the wrong thing to me and Zuma had spraying champagne stands, and we looked down and it was like kids there. We're like, yeah. I'm like, no more of that.
I've had a few great moments, but I'll pick one. It was the playoffs. It was the playoffs here. And I remember Marcus Sims and I walking down, in the clubhouse, there's a stairwell where you got to walk all the way down to the clubhouse, to the dugout. And this is before the game. And I get goosebumps right now. It was rumbling, like the stadium was just shaking. And then when we got out there, all the white towels and how many people were out there going crazy, it was just like, dude, we're here. And let's freaking go. Like, it was just the most exciting, pump you up, get you going, atmosphere that you guys created. And man, there ain't been nothing better than I've ever experienced playing this great game of baseball. That was it for me, man. Yeah! That was it. We did a home run, we hit home run in the stadium. Brandon led, we hit 27, 20. I mean, you do all that stuff, but at the end of the day, it's those things, those are memories that you remember. We don't remember our stats. I miss that guy. I remember being in the clubhouse, sitting beside him, talking baseball, being in the back of the plane, talking life, going out together. That's when you hear players talk about, they love the game, but they don't miss the game, they miss the camaraderie. It's real. These are the guys that I miss. I miss going to spring training, like these boys are down in spring training. I miss going to spring training and seeing Brandon, seeing how hard he worked and how he looks, and he's always in shape, and he's challenging you to be better.
Not anymore.
He's falling out, but he doesn't look like it. Good for you, man.
Wow, baby. It's not there anymore.
You got a dad bod now, though.
I do have a dad bod.
That's good. It's in there. It's a good thing.
I used it up, and I needed it.
How about you, Dirk? What's your best?
Every time the hair stands up on the back of my neck, which was a lot in Detroit. It'd be like Wednesday, day game, you're tired, you're like, all right, you step out, and it's like, and then you go on the field, fans everywhere, I'm like, let's go, But all those moments, and I'm sure everybody in here, you've been to a ball game when Comerica's rocking, maybe when Old Tiger Stadium was rocking, and the guy hits the double in the gap. And, late in the game, hits the double in the gap, score 2 runs, and the place is like, and that tingly feeling. I never lost it. And even in the broadcast booth during Mickey's final hurrah, like I was up there and I was like, there's that feeling again. I've never had that feeling other than like in Detroit for the team, the people that are rooting for you or the team you're rooting for, and it's like, but when we won the ALCS, that was it. That was my dad came down on the field, and I'm from little bitty town Kansas. My dad had never flown an airplane before I played with the Tigers. So my parents always said, you get us way outside our comfort zone. But we're down on the field, and there's 45,000 strong, still waving white towels. Let's go, Tigers chant starts. They're doing the trophies. And my dad, because you look from the field up at that, it's like different. It's like nothing you ever seen. It's like, oh. And he looked over at me and he's like, how did you do this? And I was like, I have no idea.
You really don't know because it's so crazy as loud as you are, but when you're in that batter's box, it's like I don't hear you guys. It's like you don't blink. And it's just like me and him. And then after the crack, or you hit it, and you know it's gone, then all of a sudden it's like, you guys come alive again back in my head. It's like, wow, that's crazy.
Dude, I hit a double one time. I'm not even lying. I don't even know how I got second. I hit the ball like left center or whatever. It was like a couple runners on. It was so, like, the noise was just like, my senses were overloaded. So and luckily muscle memory kicked in, but I get to second, and I was so winded. I'm like, my route had to be out to like right field. My rookie year, I've never been anything like that. I was like, whack, okay, good piece. And it's like, and my senses went overload mode, man. And I like dove into second, and I felt like I'd been through ran a marathon. Like all that adrenaline, it was amazing.
29 feet.
Yeah. 180 feet, and thought I ran 27 miles. It's just that atmosphere, that adrenaline.
Yeah.
And even when you're in the stands, those times, oh man, that's it's still, just those thoughts get that feeling. I love that team feeling.
You feel it too when you're in the booth, right?
Oh yeah.
It's so exciting, man. You feel like when you see the guys do something, you feel like it's unique because you can relive those moments through them. And so we hope that we're conveying that emotion, that excitement, because we've all experienced it. So to see these young kids carry the torch, so to speak, it's pretty exciting.
That's why Detroit's special too, because we went to New York and played. They show up like third inning. This is in the playoffs. The place is dead. I'm like, we gotta get back to Detroit. I need my tingling feeling. I need that tingling feeling.
I don't need to hear about your tingles.
It's still really cool, man.
On that note, we've got a photo. Craig, Andy, Brandon, thank you guys again for spending the evening with us and talking some baseball. Yeah, we're going back to the top Tigers in February. travels down to Florida. Guys, we're going to break. We are going to do our photo session now. So as Brian mentioned, everyone has a card that designates a room where you'll be able to get in line. This will help us move through the photos a little bit quicker and make sure everyone goes through. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. It's great seeing you guys, some familiar faces, some new faces. I'll see all of you around the ballpark quite a bit, and I'll be here through the event. So would love to chat. Thank you guys. We'll catch up soon. Go Tigers.